You're with Joseph Arthur and his Technicolor Dreamcast on today's News Talk Radio, TNT.
It's just such an interesting predicament, the human condition. It's a weird test. Don't you find it a strange test?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Is it a test, or is it a reality that we ourselves have brought upon ourselves? You know, I don't think that it was a design for us to be tested in this way, but we chose. And that's the discussion. That's the big theological discussion, right? Did we have a choice? How did that choice operate? What is the purpose of choice? I think I field that question more often than not. I think that things are brought into our lives to test us. I don't know that our human condition is the test itself.
But there's a lot of people raised in extreme abuse and neglect, and then they find drugs at an early age. I mean, it like, you know, in your own story, the enemy lied to you, and you were raised with some people pushing you in good directions. There's a lot of people that aren't, and so for them, I would say it is a weird test. It's, you know, obviously life never pretends to be fair.
Right. No, I kind of alluded to it at the very beginning of my testimony, right? It is, you know, my dad was he was a working class alcoholic, man. He had like 10 DUIs in 8 years, but he worked his tail off. He loved me. He hugged me. He was a good dad. Was incarcerated a couple times. My mom was in mental hospitals a lot when I was a kid, all the way up until the time of her death. She struggled. My grandma was a very anchoring reality in our life. I wrestled. I was abused. I was sexually abused at a very, very young age. So a lot of chaos was brought into my life through the choices of others. And I would definitely say that those things tested me. They tried me. They also, as we've already discussed, they drove me into the arms of the Savior. And I had both options, right? I walked both paths for a while. I walked the path of what Christ has called me to, and I've also walked the path of what my own selfish desires have called me to. And so I think that the trauma is real. I have a heart. God is a benevolent, perfect being, right? At the end of the day, that's the way he's revealed to us in the Bible. And ultimately, the certificate of authenticity on the Bible is Jesus. John chapter 1, verse 18, it says that no one has seen the Father except the Son. The Son has revealed him, right? And that word there's in the Greek, it's ekegomai. It means he's literally translated God to us. And so there's no God behind the back of Jesus, is what some theologians say. Like, so when we're looking at God, we're looking at Jesus, and we're saying, okay, what is God about? And he's about Jesus. And so I'm not disagreeing with you on the test thing.
Do you think Jesus is God or the Son of God?
Yes.
All right, let me take a quick break. We'll be right back after these. We're going to find out who Jesus is right after these words.
Amen.
On TNT.
Amen.